Sabaha everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about a package that was sent to me from Alcatel. Last week they reached out to me and they wanted to send me a few devices. So I said, of course. Now jump to today. We have 3 different devices. We have basically a care package that was sent to me. So let's not waste any time. This is TK. Let's go ahead and check out the care package that I got from Alcatel. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified whenever we have new videos on the channel. So the box came to me last week. Unfortunately, I was out of town for a summit in San Diego, so I'm finally getting a chance to play around with it. Overall, as I mentioned to you guys in the introduction, there's about 3 different devices based on what they were telling me. So let's go ahead and open it up. So as you can see here, it was sent to me for TK Bay, and yeah, right there. So last week I was actually very curious about this device. This is the Alcatel Go Flip 3. Now there's 2 different versions of this phone. There's one for AT&T and one for T-Mobile. For the most part, it's pretty much the same experience, although there's different branding with it. So this one is the T-Mobile variant. So we'll go ahead and put that one on the side. And next we have a Cricket wireless phone. Yes, so this is the Alcatel Insight. Now this is a, if I'm not mistaken, okay, so he has a vibrant 5-inch display, durable design, 5-megapixel camera, Android Go edition. So this is an Android Go edition, so a very clean, very minimalistic installation of Android P, which is Android 9.0, on the device, which allows it to actually run pretty smoothly, even though the as far as my understanding is, as far as the SoC that we have in here may not be the most powerful one on the market. But again, very nice. This is the, again, for Cricket wireless. And then last but not least, we have the Alcatel Joy Tab. Now, this one, if I'm not mistaken, is so this is a T-Mobile version of this Joy Tab. So this is a tablet that's an LTE connected tablet. It's an 8-inch tablet with a remote control built in, 32 gigs of internal storage, 4G LTE compatibility. It means we can actually put in our SIM card in here, 4,000 plus, that's 4,080 milliamp battery, as well as, of course, a quad-core processor, if I'm not mistaken, a MediaTek processor. This is, again, locked in for AT&T, for T-Mobile, sorry, not AT&T. And then, of course, you can see some of the main benefits. There's a 5-megapixel camera on the rear and another 5-megapixel camera on the front. Android P, again, really nice, and a built-in IR blaster. So here we have the Alcatel Go Flip. Now, this is the Go Flip 3 on T-Mobile. Again, there's another version of this that runs on AT&T. We have the Alcatel logo with a small display on the front, and what we have essentially here is just a 2-megapixel camera that is basically rear-facing. So we don't have a front-facing camera. So when we open up the device, you notice there is no front-facing camera. We do have a smaller display here. This is a 2.8 QVGA display. That's a 320 by 240 resolution display. We have a few buttons here that enable us to go around the interface, and of course the dial pad. The main benefit, of course, that we have here is that we obviously have the volume rocker on the right, speaker bottom firing, and we do have a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, it is powered by micro USB, so that's going to be something you want to keep in mind. Now, of course, one of the cool benefits is that the fact that it actually has a removable battery, as well as the fact that we have the ability of putting in a SIM card, obviously to make and receive calls as well as data, and of course expanding the storage up to 32 gigabytes with an expandable SD card here. This is running Kai OS. This is not running Android, so this is going to have some benefits of basically what we can do that are going to provide us actually a unique experience of basically launching the Google Assistant on this flip phone. And I did say the Google Assistant, even though this is not a smartphone. Let's go ahead and power it on. So the device supports an external display, generally just basically for battery, time, and you're able to basically see if there's any notifications. Opening it up gives us access to the entire unit. Now, again, the display is actually pretty small, but keep in mind that, again, this is a flip phone. On the left side, you notice we do have applications. So now we have basically an assistant. This is the Google Assistant. What's the weather like today?
Today in Los Angeles, it'll be sunny with a forecasted high of 79 and a low of 58. It's currently 79 and sunny.
So we're able to actually use the Google Assistant for actually doing searches. Now, the weird part about this is not connected to a Google account, so you're actually able to interface with the Assistant just directly with it. Now, it does support a few applications, so we have Maps, as well as Google Assistant, and as well as YouTube. That's the actual YouTube application. Last but not least, you're able to install Facebook, as well as there's their own app store, so you're able to install and add different applications. Now, if I press the center here, we can go through the different options that we have here. You have the call log, contacts, the actual app store that they have. They have a camera built in here. There's messages, of course, for sending and receiving, the Google for launching the Google search option, gallery, a web browser, of course. There's time. And then let's go back one more time. We have a radio here for music, and as well as an FM radio if you use the headset. So you plug in a headset and you're able to use this as basically a regular radio. We have Twitter support, as well as the fact that we have a video player, calculator, calendar, normal based applications. Of course, you have email and file manager for internal storage. We have the ability of doing voice recordings as well as wallpaper changing. It does support WhatsApp, and it also supports shortcuts for web-based applications. And what I mean by this is I tried logging into my Gmail using the Mail app that's built in here, but for some reason Google told me that it's actually temporarily blocked. So even though we have some Google applications here, we just don't have that ready right now. We have a button on the top left to show us notifications whenever we get new messages. We have the ability of going into our contacts by pressing the top right button, and the bottom left button takes us into call logs. So any calls sent or received will be showing up in here. Now again, I haven't really made that many calls in here, but for the most part, it should work fine. For better functionality, they do provide us the ability of using the assistant for voice to text typing. So we don't actually have to depend too much on the T9 style of typing. So here, we just opened up the YouTube application, TK Bay. You can see right there, it pulled up the channel, and it's able to pull up my last video.
S9 Plus, Note 9, and the upcoming Note 10. But let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and check out the first 10 things you should do out of the box with your brand new phone.
Now, we have a few shortcuts here. If I go up on the actual shortcuts, it gives us direct access to the basically screen brightness. You'll notice that the viewing angles are not very strong here with the camera, so I definitely need to keep remembering that. Airplane mode, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data connectivity, as well as launching the camera and the volume. So the Alcatel Joy Tab is, again, a LTE connected tablet that's available on T-Mobile. Again, we have an 8-inch display, 32 gigs of internal storage that we are able to expand with an SD card. We have a built-in IR remote control that's going to be allowing us to be able to control our TV. 4G LTE connectivity with compatibility is because we're able to add the additional SIM card. A 4080 milliamps, so this is obviously a much bigger battery since it's a much bigger display. And essentially what we have here is a MediaTek quad-core processor clocked in at 1.5 gigahertz. Overall, front-facing camera and back-facing camera are both fixed focus 5 megapixel cameras, so now we're looking at a basically very high quality camera, but again, should be enough for us to be able to use it. We have power button and volume, and of course the recents home and back, so we'll go ahead and remove this. Now on the side here, we have the ability of accessing, there's a bottom firing speaker, of course, and here we have the side door for accessing the actual SD card slot as well as the SIM card slot, so I'll go ahead and insert the SIM card here. And once it's inserted, you can close it, and again, you can expand the storage later on. So here we are, the applications that we have pretty much installed out of the box. We have the T-Mobile application, of course, Google applications. We don't have a dialer. This is not intended to make phone calls. Now, I do have Wi-Fi on this, but I'm not using it. So you'll notice right there, I am actually connected to LTE. This is the LTE connectivity directly through T-Mobile. And of course, it just shows that it found a local test camera in here. This is just a text message that I sent to myself earlier. Overall, we have basically just, I added CPU-Z as far as an application, swiping from the left. We have access, of course, to the Google Home or the Google feed. Swiping from the bottom, we just have basic applications. Again, T-Mobile, we have WPS Office. Now, they do actually have the application here. It's called the Closer TV pre-installed. There is a kids launcher as well. Again, Maps, Google Gmail, Google Drive, Clock. Very much a very basically simple, very easy installation here. And it's again, Android 9, Android Pie right out of the box. Now the processor that we have here is a MediaTek quad-core processor clocked in at 1.5. This is not going to be the fastest tablet that you can pick up, but keep in mind the price point and the fact that it actually is a pretty nice LTE connected tablet that you're able to use it. Now the plan that I have it on right now only gives me 2 gigs of LTE connectivity, and it just goes to a slower connection later on. So it is unlimited, and it does actually work quite nicely, very simply. And then of course, recent application. Let's go ahead and turn on the camera. So we're able to take pictures in auto mode. We have panorama, filter, time-lapse, and then of course light trace. You can also edit these options. We have a video mode as well as a panorama and filter that are built in here, as well as the camera that we're able to use. So you can switch between the two. Auto is for camera, and of course the other one is for video. You're able to go between a 4:3, a 16:9, or 1:1. That's when you're taking pictures. And you switch over to video. It looks like it's pretty much just set to HD, which for the most part is 720p video. So both the front-facing and the rear-facing camera are basically going to be, again, I would say a good enough for the price point. I would not expect these to be basically record-breaking performance or anything like that. But again, just keep in mind, this is a much more budget-friendly tablet that is LTE connected on T-Mobile. We have the Alcatel logo here, no other logos on it, other than the fact that it has T-Mobile applications and it loads the T-Mobile launcher. It's actually not a bad tablet. Just keep in mind that it's not going to be the fastest tablet on the market. Just really nice, definitely feature packed for the price point. And this is the Alcatel Insight. As I mentioned to you guys, this is a basically Cricket wireless device, so go ahead and power it on. As it's powering on, this is going to be running Android 9.0 in the Android Go edition, so let's go ahead and remove the plastic protector. And one of the main benefits of this is the basically light installation, or the light skinning of that actual the operating system. So when we take off the back, which also does actually have a removable back, The battery is removable. You're able to replace it. We have a bottom firing speaker, the SIM tray, as well as an SD card tray as well. So we're able to expand the storage internally. We have a 5 megapixel rear facing camera and a 2 megapixel front facing camera. You'll notice right there the Alcatel logo. And again, Android Go, of course, this one, it says durable design with a soft suede finish and Dragon Trail glass, which essentially is what we have here. Now let's go ahead and finish the installation. As far as the specifications that we have in here, we have a 5-inch 480 by 960 pixel display. Again, a 5 megapixel camera on the back and a 2 megapixel front facing camera. The processor that we have here is a quad-core MediaTek processor. This is the MT6739. This is basically clocked in at 1.5 gigahertz. 16 gigs of internal storage with a micro SD expansion. The battery that we have here is a 2200 milliamp battery, which basically should be able to handle us for about 12 hours. And it is a 3G device. This is not an LTE device, so this is 3G only. And again, compatible only with basically Cricket Wireless in the US. Now, just as a little bit of a teaser, I don't currently have Cricket and I don't plan on using Cricket, so probably when I'm done with this, I should be able to basically do maybe a quick giveaway with somebody here on the channel. Just basically get somebody that can use it in the US that has Cricket. So I definitely don't want to keep it if I can't use it. And if I can't use it, I'd rather have one of you guys try basically check it out. As far as the UI, we're running Android Go. So this is for the most part basically stock Android. Swiping from the left, nothing. Swiping from the right, nothing. We don't have anything else. We have Google Play services, gallery application, all that other stuff. And as you notice right there, it actually does respond quite well. Now, the display is not going to be a high density display. As I mentioned, this is a 480 by 960, so not even a 720p HD display. This is going to be very much of a budget phone. Opening up the notification panel, we'll notice there's a darker UI. We do have Wi-Fi calling supported there. Open up the settings. You can go through, and again, this is running Android 9.0, and basically this is the Go edition. So this is the Android Go edition running on here. Very nice, very simple, very little amount of bloatware. Now you'll notice there is Facebook installed here, and we also seem to have like basically a weather application installed, calculator, camera, and let's go ahead and open up the camera app. Overall, yeah, of course, we're gonna just deny that one for now. We have auto pano, time lapse, as well as more. So very similar to the tablet UI that we saw as far as the system. Running Android, very minimal amount of skinning, and of course the ability of switching over to video. And here we still don't have a way of customizing video, but whenever we're in the camera, we can change the actual aspect ratio to go basically from 4:3, 16:9, 1:1, or full display. Very nice, very simple. Again, removable back, removable battery, expandable storage. The 16 gigs that we have here are expandable with an SD card, as well as the fact that we can use a nano SIM in here. Single camera, no, basically, no bells and whistles here. Very, very nice. Android Go based device, and the material on the back, actually what they kind of say, the soft suede finish, is actually not bad. As you saw, this was definitely a very nice care package from Alcatel. I want to say thank you very much for the flip phone. This is the Go Flip 3, a T-Mobile variant version of the Go Flip phone that is available also on at&t. I'll give you guys, of course, a link for those in the description below. But this is basically running a iOS operating system, a mobile device that offers us the ability of interfacing with the Assistant, Google Maps, YouTube, on a flip phone. Now, it's not a touch display, but again, for the price point, about $100, I would definitely say this is very much a feature-packed small device. And of course, because it's a flip phone and a replaceable battery, the battery life is going to be really nice. It does have a headphone jack, and it also does have an FM tuner built into it if you want to be able to listen to, let's say, just standard FM music on this. Now, you are able to load up, basically, as you saw, I have WhatsApp, Facebook, I even have Twitter installed on this, as well as the other applications you can download from the App Store that is built in. So definitely the ability of expanding and adding more things to it. And I definitely like the form factor, and for the most part, I'll be definitely checking this out. And I want to basically see is, can I hang with this for an entire day without having to need my smartphone by basically putting in my SIM card in there. The Alcatel Insight is from Cricket Wireless. And as we saw there, it's basically a very nice, very stock Android experience, and it is running the Android Go experience here. So even though we're running a MediaTek processor, and of course we have a 1.5 gig of RAM, this definitely can still handle everything that you can throw at it. For the most part, just keep in mind, it's not going to be the fastest on the market. And again, for the price point, this is definitely a very budget-friendly device from Cricket. Now, it's not an LTE device. It does only support basically 3G, so just keep that in mind. But again, for the price point, I think it just should be really good. And specifically, if you have Cricket Wireless, this should be pretty good for you. Now, the last thing we have here is the Alcatel Joy Tab. Now, the Joy Tab is an LTE tablet that's connected on T-Mobile. You're able to add this as an additional tablet to your account. And the really nice thing about this is that it actually offers you the ability of just using it for $10. You get 2 gigs of LTE data, and it actually does slow down after the 2 gigs. It doesn't disconnect you. But one of the really cool features about it is the fact that you can actually have a kids mode built in. So when you're handing this off to, let's say, your kid or your young one, you don't have to actually give them full access to YouTube, full access to Chrome, or the entire experience. You can put them in the kids environment, and of course make sure that you allow only the games or the applications that you feel that will work for them. And again, for that price point, you can't really mess with it. Let me know which one would you like me to start doing the video on first. Initially, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually very intrigued with the Go Flip 3, mostly because of the flip functionality with KaiOS and the fact that we can actually use basically the assistant, not only to just do queries, but also to be able to use the voice to type. There's a functionality in there that allows her to basically use the assistant to actually say the words that you want to type in there and not have to use the T9 typing. Although you're still able to use it if you'd like. It's just I think we all kind of migrated away from that with everybody having smartphones and basically displays as actual keyboards. So let me know again in the comments below which one would you like me to start focusing on. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much to Alcatel for allowing me to check out these devices, and I'll see you guys in the next video.